wife was her son's friend, okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this, but for some reason, these put that on the internet.
I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely.
A man knows what a man needs.
No greater mirror I could have than Will. I can't get around myself. Just like he can't get around himself with me. Would it be easier to go and find somebody else and have a more pleasing, more comfortable relationship?
Not cheat on Will Smith, no matter how sad he looked at that table.
Actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. Mm-hmm. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now and be okay.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided.
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we broke up.
We decided that we were going to separate for a period of time, and you go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over.
We were over.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August. One thing I want to get clear about and clean up, one of the things that was kind of swirling in the press about you giving permission, which is, the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up on him. Murder. It was murder there.
We put out the interview. All we put out was a clip that went ultra viral. Okay? Yeah. Everybody in the world got this clip. It was trending for days on Twitter. Okay? Before the interview comes out, what shocked me is Jada is doing her book promotional for Worthy.
Yes.
She goes to the Breakfast Club and she sits down and they ask her about you, but they can't not ask. Like, it's so huge.
Right.
And to my surprise, she answers.
It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a money shakedown that didn't work. We're going to take legal action.
The reason Will responded, the reason why Jada responded, because they know it's true. Will's never responded. And they responded in less than 9 hours.
They did. That was a fast response.
That was because he know what I saw in that dressing room. He know other things that I saw. She did all this to try to scare me, but I fear no one but Allah. Jada, listen, in 2 weeks, if you don't sue me in 2 weeks, if Tasha K will have me, I'm back here and I'm dropping evidence. Period. You said I extorted you. You said there's a money shakedown. You said a lot of things about me, and you know that the things that you said were untrue. Let's get into a little bit more of it. Jada runs Will. Period. Me and her at war. I'm gonna put Will to the side. Will is to the side. Me and Jada, I will say this because I know you're watching. I know Karen Tense is watching.
Who's Karen Tense?
That is her PR person for years.
Okay.
Right? I know they're watching. Jada, you're a bald head liar and you're a drug addict. Right?
Oh, God.
You told the world that you were going to sue me. As of yet, and you said you're going to do it swift It's been over 2 weeks. So Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the parties, right? And the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names, right? All the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names. You assassinate my character. You say I extort you. Well, extortion is criminal. Like, I would be in jail right now if I tried to extort.
Hollywood's most unconventional marriage is back under the microscope, and this time, the receipts, the rumors, and the resurfaced interviews are colliding in a way that's impossible to ignore. What started as a headline-making entanglement has spiraled into a full-blown narrative war, with Jada Pinkett Smith once again at the center, Will Smith looking visibly uncomfortable in past clips, and Wendy Williams stepping in like she's been waiting years to say, "I told you so." Now, old interviews, explosive claims, and industry whispers are resurfacing all at once. And if even half of it is true, this story is far messier than anyone first thought. An entanglement. That one word from Jada Pinkett Smith instantly became one of the most replayed moments on the internet. But it wasn't just what she said, it was how Will Smith looked sitting across from her. The pauses, the tension, the expression that launched 1,000 memes. People couldn't look away. But here's the question that keeps resurfacing years later. Was that moment a rare glimpse of honesty, or just the tip of a much bigger story that hadn't fully come out yet? At the time, many saw it as a messy but private chapter between two people redefining their marriage. Case closed, right? Not exactly. Because now, that same story is being revisited through a completely different lens. One that suggests this wasn't an isolated situation at all, but part of a pattern that had been quietly building for years. And right in the middle of that shift is Wendy Williams, who's suddenly sounding less like a provocateur and more like someone who's been connecting dots long before anyone else was paying attention. Clips from her past commentary are resurfacing, and people are starting to ask, was she dismissed too quickly? To understand how things escalated, you have to rewind to the beginning, when August Alsina first entered the picture. What made this connection stand out wasn't just the relationship itself, but how it reportedly began, through family ties, shared spaces, and a level of trust that blurred personal boundaries. It wasn't framed as scandalous at first. It looked like mentorship, support, healing. But over time, that narrative shifted, and what once seemed like a positive connection started to carry a very different emotional weight, depending on who was telling the story. Then came the interviews, the raw, unscripted conversations where both Jada and Will tried to define what really happened. Jada described it as a relationship during a period of separation, emphasizing personal growth and emotional complexity. Will acknowledged the difficult phase in their marriage, framing it as a time when both of them were figuring things out independently. On paper, it sounded like transparency. But the audience saw something else entirely. Viewers dissected every glance, every pause, every word choice, turning the conversation into a cultural moment. To some, it was honesty. To others, it felt like damage control. And that gap between what was said and how it was received only fueled more curiosity. And that's when the outside voices got louder. Wendy didn't just comment. She doubled down, revisiting claims and hinting that there was far more going on behind the scenes than the public realized. Other commentators, insiders, and internet personalities began piling on, each adding their own perspective, their own receipts, their own interpretations. What started as one story quickly became multiple overlapping narratives. Some defended the couple's openness. Others questioned the power dynamics. The conversation wasn't just growing, it was accelerating, with each new voice raising the stakes and shortening the distance between rumor and headline. Then the story took a sharper turn. Allegations, some new, some resurfaced, began circulating, pulling in additional names and past controversies. Claims were made, denied, reframed, and debated in real time. Former associates spoke out, interviews were revisited, and social media became a battleground of competing narratives. On one side, there were firm denials and suggestions of misinformation or personal vendettas. On the other, there were people insisting that these stories had been whispered about for years. The result? A full-blown spiral where truth, speculation, and perception became almost impossible to separate. And right at the center of it all remained the same lingering question from the very beginning. How much of the story have we actually heard, and how much is still waiting to surface? At this point, the story stops being just about one situation and starts raising a much bigger issue: the gap between image and reality. For years, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith were presented as one of Hollywood's most enduring couples, open, honest, and evolved. They spoke about partnership over possession, growth over tradition, and redefining what marriage could look like. But as more clips, interviews, and past statements resurface, people are starting to notice contradictions that are hard to ignore. In one moment, the relationship is described as deeply unified. In another, it's framed as a long-standing separation. In one interview, there's talk of mutual understanding. In another, there are admissions of disconnect and distance. And when you layer those shifting narratives on top of the public moments, the viral interviews, the emotional reactions, the headlines, it creates a version of the relationship that feels almost impossible to pin down. Is this radical honesty or carefully managed transparency? Because the more the story unfolds, the more it challenges the image that was built over decades. And once that image starts to crack, people begin to question everything they thought they knew. But maybe the real story here isn't just about Will and Jada at all. Maybe it's about something bigger: how Hollywood relationships are presented versus how they actually function behind closed doors. Because this isn't the first time a seemingly perfect celebrity partnership has unraveled under scrutiny, and it probably won't be the last. What makes this different is how public it's all become, how interviews, confessions, and outside commentary have blurred the line between personal truth and public narrative. And that's exactly where Wendy Williams comes back into the picture. For years, she's been hinting, questioning, and outright calling things out, often dismissed as messy or controversial. But now, with so many pieces resurfacing at once, her voice is being reevaluated in a completely different light. Not necessarily as confirmation of anything, but as a reminder that in Hollywood, stories don't just appear out of nowhere. They build, they evolve, and sometimes they circle back when people least expect it. So now the spotlight shifts to you. After everything that's come out, everything that's been said, and everything that's still being debated, do you think this is just a misunderstood relationship that the public has blown out of proportion? Or is there more beneath the surface that hasn't fully come to light yet?